Hello everybody, I'm Mike from Electric City Sentai DenziCaster, and welcome to the DenziBlitz. And this week is the last of the Facebook version of DenziBlitz. We are on part 5 of Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger, getting through episode 28. I think it's 24 to 28 this week. This is the final part of the original Facebook run of DenziBlitz. DenziBlitz originally was conceived as our Facebook first or Facebook exclusive version of DenziCaster, where it was just me and you, and we were taking looks at big batches of episodes at a time. That was the original concept of the show before we ever thought we would bring it here to the ECS network on YouTube. But obviously we have. We've been doing this now for months, so thank you for coming along for the ride and taking a look back and tolerating the less than ideal video and audio quality, audio quality that comes with the file size restrictions of video on Facebook that we had to endure. But please folks, all the things that you do, we normally say all this at the end of an episode, but we're going to get out of the way now. Please share, like, subscribe. Visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/DenziCaster. Check us out on Twitter at ECS Podcast. Check us out on Instagram at ECS Network. If you'd like to help us out here on the show, you want to help us out, we need video equipment, we need audio equipment, we need lighting, we need software, computers. There's a lot of stuff we could use because we're all working stiffs in this place. So if there's any way you'd like to help out, check us out at cafepress.com/ECS Network. Every little bit helps, and we do appreciate it. And get yourself some cool swag in the process. Maybe a Rage Quit Radio hat. I'll put this back on now because my hair looks atrocious. Maybe an RQR hat, maybe a DenziCaster t-shirt, maybe you get an 8-star anime mug, or a Kana and Mike's movie night t-shirt. All kinds of really cool stuff there that you can pick up from the ECS network for all the great shows here on the channel. Please do go check that out. And I very much hope that you enjoy this look back, and not only at the end of the original DenziBlitz run on Facebook, but at Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger, one of my all-time favorite Super Sentai shows, the one that got me into Super Sentai, no doubt about it. And next week, we will be back with a completely original episodes of DenziBlitz, because I will be back with part 6, I think it's 6, yep, part 6 of the, our look at our look at Dekaranger. For the record, folks, in full transparency, I've recorded all 5 of these intros in a row, and now I'm starting to get tongue-tied because that's a thing that happens. So, part 6 of our 9-part look at Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger will be coming up next week, when we will look at, episodes 29 through 34 of the wonderful police sci-fi Super Sentai show. So I hope you come back and join us for that next week. Before I toss it over to Past Mike, one last thing to remember. I probably say somewhere in here that the next show we're watching is Kamen Rider Decade. Ignore that, we've already watched that. But I will go ahead and let you know the next show that we are watching here on the DenziBlitz, coming up in a little more than a month, maybe 5 weeks' time. We're going to take a look at a Metal Hero franchise, and considering that this is the year that the Space Police, Special Police Dekaranger wind up working hand in hand with the Space Sheriffs, it's only right that we go back to 1982 and take a look at Uchu Keiji Gavin. Space Sheriff Gavin is the next show we're going to be watching right here on the ECS network, starring the incomparable Kenji Oba. I'm really looking forward to it. It will actually be the first show we watch here on DenziBlitz that I have never seen before. So you're going to get to go along and see my very first look through at the 1982 classic. It's also going to be the oldest show we've ever watched here on DenziBlitz, so I'm really looking forward to that. So folks, next week will be part 6 of our look at Dekaranger. We're in the home stretch. There's only 4 episodes after this one. And right now, we'll kick over to Past Me, and we take a look at part 5. We're going through episode 28 of Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger this week on the DenziBlitz. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DenziBlitz right here on Facebook.com on our Facebook DenziCaster page. I'm Mike Brown, and we are continuing to go through Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger here on the Blitz. Today, we get through episode, I believe, 28. 5 more episodes down. It's either 28 or 29. I think it's 28. This batch of episodes really was bunch of dual focus episodes. I've seen stuff before where people call them filler, but they're really not. That was something that occurred to me as I was watching through them. But this batch episodes are a series of dual focus episodes until you get to episode 28. And this starts probably in the last batch episodes we watched with the debut of Deka Break, Tetsu, our 6th Ranger. Basically, this batch of episodes will rotate through each of the core 6 Dekarangers, or 5 Dekarangers rather, the core members. We have a focus episode in the batch we just got done watching with Yellow, Jasmine, where there's a focus episode with Pink, Umiko. There's one with Senchan, Green. There's one with Hoji, Blue. There was one with Red in the previous batch of episodes. That would have been part of Deka Break's debut. But the purpose of these episodes is to show you a little bit about how each of the Dekarangers has grown, and to help infuse Tetsu with a little bit of each individual character, and it serves to help him trust and understand each of his fellow Dekarangers now that he is a member of Earth Branch, and it kind of accentuates the idea that he's there to learn. While he is a Tokyo, he is basically the special police of the special police. He is the elite. He is one of the people who goes out and fights the worst criminals anyone can find. He still has a lot of flaws. Remember, when we first see him, he is very calculating. He is very cold, professional, arrogant. And over the course of these episodes, he learns that each member of the team brings something different to the table, and each member of the team has something they excel at, no matter how eccentric or unconventional they may seem. In his episode with Umiko, and I'll be probably getting these out of order a little bit. In his episode with Umiko is always seen as the aloof, girly girl, very laid back Pink, where she's very self-centered, little on the cocky side herself, the flighty ditz at sometimes, but when push comes to shove, she will figure things out that other people won't. Tetsu gets kidnapped in that episode, and the alien who kidnaps him speaks in reverse. Sort of like Bizarro from DC Comics. Me, I'm not your friend, which would be I am your friend in Bizarro speak. Something very similar to that. She figures it out before anyone else does, and is able to realize that the person who kidnapped Tetsu really isn't a bad person. They just want nothing more than to get their kid back. And her negotiating skills are called into question until she figures out what's going on. She figures out how to communicate, and she figures out how to empathize with this creature with bizarre speaking patterns. In the episode with Senchan, where we have the focus episode with the two of them, it's all about Senchan's intuition and his willingness to look for unconventional solutions. Basically, there is a spirit monster who is able to possess different individuals, including human beings. Usually it's alienizers, but he can possess different humans. And Senchan realizes that no, he has actually, this monster has not escaped as they think he has. He's not out and about on the run. He has actually infiltrated the Dekarangers themselves. And he finds this one alienizer on Earth who has the ability to hunt down, stop these spirit Seijin, and manages to not only figure out which one of the Dekarangers, in this case Bon, is actually possessed, but figures out a way to stop the alien at the same time. And earns the trust of this old crone of an alienizer who, everyone thinks physical appearance, they just immediately assume evil. And he overcomes not only that, but it was pretty ingenious ways to save the day, which Tetsu see the unconventional thinking, thinking outside the box. The episode with Hoji is all about hard work. Hoji is the super cool blue. He's good at everything. But the point of it is not to simply be good at everything. The point of it is there's only one thing that he's actually good at. It surrounds an underground fight ring. And the beginning of the episode starts with the Rangers on a shooting range, and Hoji gets a perfect score. Tetsu, who is the elite officer, says, even I miss 1 out of every 4. How are you able to hit every single time? What can I do to improve? And Hoji's response is simply, if you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad. That's all there is to it. Which is him putting on the super cool persona we figure out. He winds up, once Tetsu and he try to infiltrate the underground fight ring, Tetsu gets spotted immediately because he's Tokyo, and the evil mobster-like alien that runs this fight ring spots him immediately and goes, let's politely ask him to leave. At which point, Hoji stands up, not only cements his own cover by outing Tetsu once the folks show up to escort Tetsu out, he then challenges the champ of this fight ring, which is basically powered by space steroids. They have a name for it in the show, I just don't remember what it was. And winds up getting trashed in the first encounter. In the second encounter, he comes back and he wins. But he comes back and he wins because of his hard work. He becomes an expert, essentially pit fighter. And that's when Bond tells us, well, no, he wasn't always this good at shooting, because Tetsu points out, but he's not an expert fighter, he's an expert marksman. He goes, no, he wasn't an expert marksman. He trained really hard to become an expert marksman. He's training really hard to become an expert fighter. There's only one thing that he's actually a genius at, and it's hard work. So in this, Tetsu learns that hard work pays off, essentially. When you get to the episode with Jasmine, it is sort of a cross between follow your instincts and give people the benefit of the doubt. Believe in people. Basically, criminal on the run. They figure out that his partner is in prison, so they go find his partner and bring him to Earth in order to try and help. The partner puts on a bit of an act himself, but it turns out to be sort of this Robin Hood-esque character where he and the alienizer or tornado wielding bad guy who use the force of wind and storms were basically like Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, until one day our tornado villain goes rogue and kills a man, which was entirely against our bird alien. The good guy alien is sort of this bird motif. When he realized, he says, no, you've crossed a line, come with me, pay for your sins, we're turning ourselves in. The bad guy breaks out. Our heroic prisoner, when the opportunity comes, he actually goes with the police with the intention of taking down his old partner and then killing himself. not only does Jasmine realize that the prisoner was not a bad guy, and that the prisoner is trying to atone for his sins, she also realizes that the prisoner is going to try to kill his old partner and then kill himself. She figures it out. And then basically stops him from killing the alienizer, which they then kill, which seemed weird. That might be my only knockoff of any of these episodes, was they probably should have captured the tornado alien and had him serve out his sentence. I think that instead of stopping the one alien from killing them only to kill him themselves, delete him in the terms of the television show. But at any rate, she stops the prisoner from committing an even worse crime, and then committing suicide to get out of the whole thing. That I can't bear it anymore. She convinces him to do otherwise, and so we see through Jasmine, we wind up getting the whole believe in people, see the best in people, follow your instinct, follow your heart. Bit of her character. And Tetsu serves as, through most of these episodes, the audience identification character for these discoveries. He sees what we see. And the wonderful thing is that we do get to see him realize all of these things, and he's getting to learn a little something from each member of the team. So we get 5 episodes like this. The one with Bond was in the last batch, and then these 4. Then we come to episode, like I said, I think it's 28. In 28, we finally start to learn something about Tetsu. And in that episode, Tetsu winds up basically meeting the criminal that killed his parents. There is a monster of the week. It's basically a copycat, and who can copy other monsters as long as he has part of their DNA. And so they brought back previous monster of the weeks through the plot device, so to speak, of Agent Abrera has contracts with the DNA thumbprint through like a blood thumbprint to seal the contracts from each of these old alienizers that have been deleted by the Dekarangers, and there's enough DNA there to then allow this copycat alien to duplicate their forms. But that frankly serves as a means to an end, and that is a way to get Dekabreak Tetsu to this prison planet where our sort of mirror master type monster, and I'm going to apologize, I just blanked on his name. I think it's like Gennaro or something like that. But this alien killed his parents. But he considers crime a high art form. The copycat Sajin wants to impress him, and he idolizes him. And they find magazine articles and newspaper articles and posters of him strung up all over the bad guy's hideout, and that's what leads them to the idea of going there. Tetsu instantly recognized him because Tetsu captured him 2 years ago. Tetsu's the reason the guy's in prison now. So when Tetsu goes, they do have this cool moment because like I said, I call him a bit like a Mirror Master type monster because he can escape through anything that creates a reflection. So they have this scene where they're kind of reflection proofing the uniform and such. If anyone's out there who's watched Power Rangers S.P.D, they actually take this monster and most of this setup and put it on Sky, the S.P.D Blue Ranger, as the way his father was killed was by this monster. But at any rate, he figures out what's going on. He figures out that it's a copycat. And then the monster, our murdering monster, figures out how to elicit an emotional response enough for Tetsu to cry. And he escapes through the reflection of the teardrop, which sets up a cliffhanger because now that monster's on the loose, Tetsu's going to have to find him. and stop him again. So, really cool episodes as far as developing Tetsu, developing Deca Break. That's what these episodes were all about. Merch-wise, because it's all about toys, like I've always said, never make the mistake of thinking that this is anything, more or less than a 25-minute toy commercial when you're watching one of these shows. The Super Dekaranger Robo, which is the combination of Deca Bike, which is Tetsu's giant mecha, and then Dekaranger Robo. They combined before in the last batch of episodes as riding Dekaranger Robo, which we see a few more times, where Dekaranger Robo jumps on the Deca Bike and rides it like a motorcycle cop. But this one they actually finally combine into one giant robot. Interesting design, not overly bulky, not my favorite mecha from this show, to be honest. Neither is the Deca Bike when it moves into its robot form. I prefer Dekaranger Robo. That frankly is my favorite mecha from this show thus far. There's another one coming, and to be perfectly honest, I forget what it looks like. So it is not the iconic mecha for the show, but so far, not too bad. Looking forward to moving forward. Like I said, episode 28, so next batch will get us through. We're more than halfway through. There's 50 episodes to the series. So let's see, the next batch will wind up going through 5 or 6 episodes. Should get us through about episode 35, I think. It's either going to be 34 or 35. But should be lots of fun. We're moving into the second half. We're going to see Agent Abrera really still hasn't come forward as the big bad. He's still the guy behind the scenes manipulating and pulling strings. So that sort of remains to be seen if they're going to turn him into the legit big bad, or if they're just going to have him pull strings up until the end. From memory, I recall him as the big bad. So I just don't recall when they made him the big bad. Like I said, this show came out in 2004. I'm 12 years removed from having watched this show for the first time, and I honestly don't think I've watched it since. So, or if I have, it's still been probably more than a decade ago. So I'm having a lot of fun, though, going back through and rewatching these episodes, and it kind of makes me want to watch Power Rangers S.P.D., to be honest with you, because I really enjoyed that season, too. But that's not the next thing we're watching. Remember, folks, the next thing we're watching here on the Blitz is going to be Kamen Rider Decade. Remember that Chris Brown, he's currently recording his episodes for Kamen Rider Forze, doing that here on the DenziBlitz. I might have said Deca Blitz a minute ago. I've got Dekaranger on the brain at the moment. And one more bit of housekeeping. That is DenziBlitz is now Facebook only. This is our Facebook exclusive series. Originally, we were trying to get it up on YouTube the week after it aired here on Facebook. And just logistically, that has become a pain in the butt. So that's not going to happen. This is now a Facebook exclusive series. You may see a video go up over on the ECS network where I basically explain, hey, come over and check out DenziBlitz over on our Facebook page. But this is the official home of the DenziBlitz now. You will only see it here on the DenziCaster Facebook page. Though I do encourage you, head over to youtube.com, check out the ECS network. Not only will you find DenziCaster, right now we're wrapping up Kamen Rider Drive. We've got, as we speak today, I think we only have 5 episodes left to watch before we actually are done with Kamen Rider Drive. And so that's going to be a lot of fun to wrap that series up. There's a few discussion episodes in the can that are going to go up before that happens. I think there's 3 discussion episodes that are going to be going up over the next couple of months, but not too much longer before Kamen Rider Drive is done. We're still watching Kamen Rider Amazons, so that's really cool. Check out RQR Plays, of course, and the newest show on the ECS network is Kana and Mike's Movie Night. Myself and my wife Kana, we sit down, and right now it's part of DenziCaster, so you've seen an episode on show up already. That was Pacific Rim. That's up on the ECS network, but now we are also doing other movies too, stuff that's Toku adjacent, and we've moved nights. So originally it was going to be part of the DenziCaster lineup, and it would air every so many Mondays in place of a regular DenziCaster episode. Well, now it's going to be Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, just like you see the DenziBlitz here on Facebook, every Wednesday you're going to see Kane and Mike's Movie Night over on the ECS network. So check that out. I think V for Vendetta goes up today. So definitely check that out and see what you think on that too. And then I think after V for Vendetta is what? I think it's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. And yeah, that'll be up next week. Yeah, check that out. So, folks, until next time when we've got more of Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger coming your way, for everyone here at DenziCaster and for the DenziBlitz, I'm Mike. We'll see you next week right here on Facebook.com/DenziCaster.